Hello and welcome to Sleep Deprived. I am with the beautiful Sophie Cachia, the boss mum, the business owner and author, and the bloody legend. How are
Thank
you?
I'm good. I'm very clucky now. I've just been holding your beautiful little girl. But no, I'm good. I'm tired. We're always tired, aren't
we're
we?
always
Are you tired right
Us
now?
mums, we are always tired.
How tired are you with a 10-week-old?
I'm pretty exhausted. I feel like when it gets to your third, you would know you have two kids. How old are they?
Nearly 10 and 7.
Okay, so you're out of the trenches.
I'm
Are
out
you?
of the trenches.
I
Yep.
feel like it's never ending, but
Yep.
I am quite tired. I just feel like you have to get on with it. When you're a mum, you just have to get on with it.
Well, there's nothing you can do.
No.
But you do just get on with it.
Yeah.
We just find a way to get it done.
Because you were a young mum too.
I was.
So how old were you when you had your first baby?
So I fell pregnant with Bobby when I was 22. So I gave birth
Yeah.
to him at 23,
Yeah.
which now, like, I've got friends that are that young and I'm like, holy crap. Like, I was a baby.
You were a child.
I was a child. And then I was 26, I think, when I had my second. So still, again, you're 26 now, aren't
Yeah.
you too? Yeah. So 3 at 26, 2 at 26 for me.
Wow.
Yeah, wild. It's crazy though that I felt I was really old at the time. Like I was really wise, I was really mature. And now I'm 33. I feel like I'm 21.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like I've done my 20s and my 30s. Oh,
The
opposite.
Yeah.
I feel like I've completely done,
A reversal.
switched the 20s and the 30s around.
And
now
are all your friends having kids now?
they're all starting now. Wow. Yeah.
So you're like mother hen. You're like,
I
no,
am.
do not do that. I've already, your kids can be babysitters for their babies.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what I'm sort of in that phase too of like, do I want to have another baby as well?
Yeah.
Single mum, haven't met the right person. Do I need to meet the right person to do that? Like I'm weighing up all these options now too. But I'm like, holy shit, like my son's going to be like a teenager.
Oh my God.
I've timed this well, let me do that again.
You've timed this perfectly.
I've timed this to perfection that he can babysit.
That is so
if
good.
I ever have another one.
Do you think you want a third?
Some days I think yes, some days no. Like we just said, I'm really out of the shit trenches. I feel like we're always in the trenches, but I'm out of the real shit stuff.
The
Like
newborn, the feeding on demand, the waking, changing.
yeah, and like my kids are just so self-sufficient. Like they get their own food. My son like cooks pasta and
Cooks you dinner?
scrambled eggs.
No.
Like yeah, he's so beautiful. And then my daughter is Miss Independent, so I just don't even see her.
Oh my God.
So I do think sometimes, I have it so good now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, being a gay woman, if I was to meet another woman who wanted children, I need to be open to that
yeah,
possibility
100%.
as well. So
Yeah. So it must have been hard when you had kids at 22.
Yeah.
Obviously, none of your other friends had babies because I'm living that now and I'm like, holy shit. Like you don't realize how many friends fuck off as soon as you have kids if you're not in the same stage of life.
Yeah.
Was that hard for you when you had kids? Like, did you lose friends?
I think initially when you have a baby, it's like a novelty, right? Everyone's like, oh my God, I'll come round, I'll bring you coffee, like let us hold the baby. But then when stuff gets really hard, I recall having conversations, even when I was pregnant. I remember being 38 weeks pregnant and I had to pull the pin on a girlfriend's birthday dinner at the last minute. She'd booked a dinner in the middle of the city on a Monday night, 38 weeks pregnant. And at 5 o'clock, I think I said, babe, I can't do it. And I got a text back like, you know what?
You're a shit friend.
I'm really disappointed. I feel like you've been really selfish. You haven't shown up for us lately. And I'm like, I just wrote back to her, you will understand one day.
Yeah.
You will get it one day. And then when I had the baby, like the coffees and the muffins and every Saturday morning everyone's coming. And then like after 4 weeks, it's like, nah, we're bored of the baby now.
Totally.
And so, yeah, I certainly held on to friendships for a long time because, you think, oh, we've been friends for 10, 15 years. Like we can't not be friends.
Yeah.
But then there's a realization that you're just simply in different phases of your life. And sometimes there is an issue that happens and sometimes there's not.
Yeah.
And I've certainly experienced the not side in many that there hasn't been a big fight. There hasn't been a big argument, but we're just completely different people. We don't want the same things. We don't do the same things. So in order to be friends with someone, you've got to have common interests.
Yeah.
And when my whole life at the moment revolves around kids, like my weekends honestly are just like kids sport or
extracurricular parties, dropping them off,
and then
hanging
juggling
out
with their dad as well.
Yeah.
It's just, and doing that in my 20s when all my friends were traveling Europe or going out on weekends and going on benders, like things I just had zero interest in doing, nor could do. Yeah.
It's tough. It's so hard. And I feel like I've noticed that. Like I went from, like 15 friends, all the ones from your high school, and I had them all at my son's baby shower and so much fun. And then they all just dropped off and I have like 3 left. And it was I remember saying to my husband, I was like, I've read something and apparently you lose so many friends. And he's like, no, that won't happen to you. Like you're going to stay in contact and you're going to be friends with them. It's fine. But like, it's not even staying in contact. It's like you said, like that happened to me when I messaged a friend about a birthday and I couldn't go and I couldn't attend. And she like hated me ever since. And I'm like, babe, I've got 2 kids. I can't tell you just yet, but I'm 8 weeks pregnant and with my 3rd and I'm exhausted. I physically can't travel an hour and a half to come to a dinner. Like it's so hard. And people really don't understand. If you're not a mum or a parent, they do not understand.
But then if you say that to them,
it's like you're the victim.
You're the most
you
horrible
are the most horrible. Like how
world.
dare you not come to my birthday party? But truly, people, you don't understand, especially when you're in your 20s and you don't have kids. You can never understand what a mum goes through.
I don't even think it's age. I think if you don't have kids, full stop.
Yeah,
and that's not to be malicious or mean. I just don't think you can ever understand the pressures, the guilt,
the stresses.
The stress,
when
the
your kid has a temperature. Like when my kid has a temperature, I am like spiraling. I can't focus. I was out for dinner the other night with my husband on date night and I get a message from the babysitter being like, I think Navy has a temperature, and I'm like spiraling. Yeah. I'm like, hey, we gotta go home. She can't give him medicine. What if she overdoses him? Like, she cannot. Like, you spiral. There are so many stresses as a mum. And like, if you don't have kids, like, you have like your biggest stress is when am I going to have time to walk my dog this afternoon in between drinks and my friend's birthday and booking a trip to Europe.
But also that it's okay if you just don't fucking want to as well. And I think one thing I can tell you is that the older you get, like I'm so comfortable to say no now. Yeah. And the friends that actually wrote about this on my Instagram last night, I call them stayers. So I spoke about how lucky I am to have so many stayers in my life, and those stayers, I might have only met them a year ago or I met them 8 years ago. I don't think we need to remove the whole like timeline of friendship equates to how solid your friendship is.
Yeah, that's so
and
true.
you will certainly meet people that will come into your world.
Come and go.
That, you have those common interests and you will find your stayers. And I've found mine. And some of them are 40 years old and some of them are 25 years old.
Yeah.
So I again, like what you said, we feel like in our 20s, like we've got to be best friends with all of our high school friends.
Yes.
Like I don't like those people anymore. Not because they're bad people. We're just nothing in common.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And that's the hard thing because you kind of have to, like you said, you don't really have a fight when you go through this huge transition. They just kind of like, you have
just
different
realize
interests.
we're not each other's people.
I don't not like you. It's just, I have to go this path and you're going that path. We can't even meet in the middle. But in saying that, you meet amazing mums along the way. Like I've met amazing mums that I'm like besties with who I
Thank you.
never
That's
thought
so nice.
I would meet. I know. And I love it because it's like, you lose some, you gain some. Like it's it's pretty sad at the start when you like.
No, it is. It's heartbreaking. Like
you're pregnant, you're there, you've got all these friends, and then you're like, wait, why are you not calling me? And then I guess role reversal, I'm not calling you, but I'm growing a human and I'm chasing after another human and I'm, there's so many stresses when it comes to being a parent. Yep. It's just so hard to align with people who aren't parents.
Yeah, but also if they don't want to understand where you're at, then I don't want them in my life either. You know what I mean? And that's where I go back to the stayers that I have. I could literally say to them, guys, don't contact me for 6 weeks. Just leave me alone. And they'd be like, okay. Yeah. Like, you let us know when you're ready. You know what I mean? And they're the type of people you need. So, and especially like, I don't know if you experienced this. I did many years ago, like the drama that came with these friendship breakdowns. Whatever. Like once you have kids, you don't give a shit about that stuff anymore. Like the exhaustion and that taking your energy. Yeah. Like I'm so glad I'm out of that now. But I also do remember how hard it is. Like it's really heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is hard.
A friendship breakup fucking hurts.
It's breaking up, but it's out of your control. I'm like, wait, I'm having a baby, but now you don't like me. Like I'm still the same. Guys, I'm here. It's me. It's Indy. Like, but they don't really see past that. And I get it. Like you can't blame them. Like you can't force someone to be in your shoes. They have no idea. But I always say to my husband, I'm like, you know what? I'm not angry, but I know they will feel this immense guilt when they finally have kids. I don't know whether that's in their 30s, and they'll be like, oh shit.
Well, it's really funny you say that, because a few of these girls, again, same thing, nothing bad happened, just sort of separated life and stuff, who have now had their babies, have sort of like come full circle and like sliding back in, and you know, like I'm like,
guilt gets them.
The guilt always gets them. I know you get it now.
Yeah, you get it.
You get it.
And that's the thing. That's what I'm like, okay, it's okay. I'll wait 10 years for an apology. That's cool. I'll wait. I won't be holding a grudge because you can't hold a grudge. It's not one of those things. It's like, oh, I hate you because
it's just a different life circumstance.
It's just a different life. But I wish I knew that going into pregnancy, so I wasn't so caught off guard.
Yeah, that's true.
I was just like, pregnant in the pandemic 2020, everyone's there kissing my belly like, oh my God, we love this baby. And then I'm like, where my village at? Guys, where you at? Like, what's this village?
The other day, it's like, you know, we all need a village. It's like, how do we call them?
Yeah.
Like, where's
the village?
Did they just turn up?
Are we paying for them to come? Like, where are they? But I definitely, that was probably one of the hardest transitions, I guess, for me and for you, because you were a young mum too.
Yep.
And did you always grow up on social media? Was that your thing?
That's sort of how I started. Back when I was pregnant with my son, Bobby.
Oh, so
2013, I started it.
Like posting pregnancy and your kids?
Yeah, so I started as The Young Mummy. It was a blog. Before Instagram. I started writing a blog about falling pregnant at 22 and the pressures and the comments and the expectation.
You're so old school, a blog.
I know, a blog. What is a blog?
What is a blog?
It was before Instagram, and then Instagram came, and initially I just started sharing it on Facebook with like family and friends.
Oh yeah.
And the first one I wrote, it had like 200,000 readers from like all over the world. And I was like, how the fuck did this happen?
I'm famous.
Yeah, I was like, thank you. But also like, Mum, who did you share it to? Because like it's gone viral. And then, sort of I was getting emails from like all these random people. This is through like, I don't know if you know what WordPress is.
No.
Like this is where you'd create your own blog page. And like, when's the next one? Like, I find it really interesting. And I even had, at the time, my boyfriend's mates who were guys, they're like, we thought that was so interesting. Can you write more? And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh God, I'm a writer.
Yeah.
She's an author. That's why you have a book now.
And then I was like, wow, there's really an audience here who want to hear this style of writing. And also before that, very much on trend with what you do now, there was no one who spoke about pregnancy or motherhood real. Like everything. I got pregnant at 22. I was vomiting so hard I was shitting myself. I grew a beard.
You grew a beard?
Yeah, like
you got extra growth.
Yeah, like I grew this beard.
Stop.
I was vomiting every day. Like I had no glow. I don't know what this glow was, but like all I had been conditioned to know was like your hair gets so beautiful when you're pregnant, and your skin, and like
it's a lie.
My tits were like out here
leaking.
My nipples were this big,
and
I'm like, what the fuck? No one tells you that any of this stuff happens. Devon ham, yes.
That's what your nipples look, man, still look like that.
Pepperoni pizza.
Oh, stop. That is disgusting.
And so I just started writing about all this stuff, and this audience just came in of like, thank you, like we've been looking for this.
Yeah.
And so that's how it naturally started. I've been on Instagram. So my son turns 10 in April, and I was started when he was in my belly. So yeah.
Wow. And how's that been evolving? I guess obviously there's so much talk now. I feel like now, like there was no talk 5 years ago when having kids online, and now all of a sudden it's become a trend that we're, you know, like putting our kids out there and we're exploiting them. Like I hate that the word exploiting just gets
disgusting,
thrown around.
because the actual word of exploiting can be used in such a disgusting manner.
And people just throw that word around when there are children out there being exploited. What we're doing is so far from exploiting, but people love to throw that term around. How have you found the evolution of having your kids online? How has that evolved?
It's really interesting, because for the first few years, it was great. I had this really supportive, you know, because I was this young, naive mum, and I didn't know what I was doing. And, she's so good. She's doing her best, and she's raising her son. And then sort of when I had my daughter and I started to really get a grasp of parenting, and I think especially after my second, I kind of knew what I was doing. I was very confident in myself. I was very comfortable. Like I knew I was a great mum. And so I don't think people liked seeing that. They were like, no, hang on. Can you go back to the struggling girl who cries on her stories? Because that makes us feel better.
Yeah.
But when I was like, oh no, like she's good. Like I've got the baby under my arm, like dropping her, and I'm back to work. Oh, God forbid when I went back to work. God forbid,
no. You got to be, bitch, you got to be in bed crying in fetal position.
You've got to be struggling. Yes. And it's a really sad reality in that people want you to struggle. It makes them feel better, and it's really sad.
They don't want to see you succeed.
No. And so when I did, I suppose, start showing signs of that in their eyes.
Yeah.
The fucking trolling that came then.
Oh, yeah.
How dare I'm this bad mum. I've gone back to work. Like, God forbid I need to contribute to my family's income because we're in our 20s.
Put a roof over your kid's head.
Right? God forbid I need to fill the fridge.
Yeah.
And so if I didn't fill the fridge, I'd be a bad mum. But because I'm going out to make money to fill the fridge, I'm a bad mum. Go figure.
Horrible.
So yeah, I've always found that anything to do with parenting, when I've been really comfortable and confident in my decision, that's when I've gotten the most critique. I know you get that too. Like, I love watching you just share, like, this is our fucking chaos and we're okay with it.
Totally. And, like, you're going to have your opinion and that's fine. Your house is picture perfect and this doesn't happen.
But it's fucking not, though.
But it's not.
The house is not picture perfect.
We know as mums.
It's not.
I could speak to 1,000 mums and we can all relate, no, it's chaos.
Yep.
Dinner time, chaos. Witching hour, chaos. Like, don't you lie to me. Like,
you have dirty washing.
Your laundry, you have not done a load of laundry today. Do not lie to me.
But you know what? If you have to,
good on you.
That's fine.
That's awesome.
We're not criticizing you for that.
I know. And it's crazy because so many people want to have a say. And that's fine. We put our lives online and people can have an opinion. But when their opinions are so strong and it's like they live and they breathe it and they want to hate you. Like, I love the positivity. Like, I get so much positivity and mums that can relate with me and they love it. And they're like, oh, you've brought out this, this easy side and I'm less anxious and I can just have fun. But then
and what a positive impact you're having.
But then you get the gnarly ones and then they're like, fuck you for feeding your kid a roll-up. Like, that's carcinogenic. And I'm like, oh my God, if only you knew what I feed them every day. Like, this kid has a roll-up a day, babe. But they have strong opinions. And like, it's crazy because I definitely feel like the time has changed. Like 5 years ago or 3 years ago, it wasn't this hectic. But like all of a sudden, the last year or two, it's had this huge shift. And people are becoming more, I don't know if it's TikTok or...
I feel like TikTok is a different audience.
Definitely.
Completely. Yeah.
And I think people, I guess video content, do you do a lot of video content?
Yep.
It lets people into your life more because it's not just a static image where they can make up a scenario.
But they do anyway. And that's where I've like just come to accept it. Like, people will think what they want to think. It doesn't matter. Like, I could honestly say, hey guys, I've just donated $100,000 to charity. And they'd be like, she's a liar.
Yeah. Bullshit.
She's a scammer.
Show us receipts.
Yeah,
we want receipts.
I want receipts. Like, no, you're not entitled to that. No, don't believe you.
Right?
Like, it doesn't matter. You can do all the good in the world and they're still going to criticize you. So I think, if people, I feel like you're the same. Like, we wouldn't still be doing this if it actually got to us.
Yeah, that's
I get comments like, you know that everyone hates you and you know this. I'm like, but I'm still here. Yeah. I'm still showing up. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm still here. No,
I'm
it's so
still
true.
Here.
And I think what for us, it's a lot to do with the positive community that we've created.
Absolutely.
And the ones that
they think
we're really making an
them.
impact, and the ones that we're doing this for. Because it's like, I could get 1,000 negative comments and then I will have this one comment that says, thank you so much for sharing what you do because it's made me the happiest mum. I'm so present with my kids. It's allowed me to be more chilled. And I'm like, I'm still doing what I'm doing then. Yeah. Like, fuck you all. Yeah. I will not even listen to any of you. And people say, like, don't read comments. Of course you're going to read comments, but it doesn't affect me. Like, we grow up. When you grow up on social media, you learn to be resilient. And
I think the comments are more of a reflection of the person who writes them.
Totally. And the forums. And people make I feel like when people make a forum of you, it's like you've made it. It's like,
I just don't get it though. Like, I don't get it because, like, why? You hate me so bad.
But you want to talk about me.
But you want to dedicate, like, I assume, a lot of your fucking time to me.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't.
It make sense.
Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. But anyway, I feel like you'd be able to understand in the sense, like, when I put the phone down and I jump in bed with my kids at the end of the day and we're having a laugh and we're, like, wrestling and then someone farts and, like, it's so funny and then we're awake again, like, I'm a good mum. Like, I'm
and you know that.
I know that. I don't need Sharon, Karen, Helen, fucking Jimmy. I don't need any of these people to tell me that. I appreciate the community that I've built. And I love, you know, mine's not even so much now parenting as such. Like I have a very big queer community now, and I feel like I have such great relationships with people online.
Yeah.
And I'm like, like I said, when I put that phone down at the end of the day and I'm in bed with my kids, like
nothing else matters.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't need your opinion on anything, good or bad.
Yeah, and you can just let them think what they want, but at the end of the day,
They're going to anyway.
They're going to.
They're going to
even
anyway.
if it was Jilly on the street that sees you and your kid having a tantrum, she's going to have an opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it's human nature to have an opinion. I just guess we're the target because we're online.
Yeah, but again, what they don't understand is and I've never apologized for this. This is our job. This is our job. This is how
whether they like it or not, this is
whether
a career.
You want to believe it or not that it's a job, when you receive financial benefit in exchange for a service, that's our job.
Yeah.
So that's us. A lot of our content, and sorry, I'm speaking on behalf of us, but I obviously watch a lot of your stuff, is authentic chaos around the house.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is building brands and marketing and working with, you know, organizations to help fucking raise our children, because we need to contribute financially. So
absolutely,
I love when people go, oh, if it's too hard, just get off. Just get off. If your job's too hard, can you just like walk in and go, you know what, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm done.
totally.
Like, no.
There's always going to be
this is our career right now.
in a job and stress, and this is such a new career and a new industry.
Yeah.
So we're all evolving, and it's not normal for hundreds of thousands of people to be judging you. Like I always say to my husband, I'm always like, I wish I had your job. Like he's like, no, you don't. You don't want to be in an office. I'm like, I would much rather be in an office than do something and have hundreds and thousands of people judging that and having an opinion.
And then you'll have people listening to this saying, well, quit then.
Yeah, quit.
Stop.
Well, do you know what? I would quit, but I am contributing to a roof on my kids' head. I'm feeding them holidays, daycare, a cleaner every 2 weeks. Like I am contributing financially. So bitch, you quit your job. You fucking quit it. Go and quit it.
Too hard.
But no, it is. And speaking of jobs, do you get mum guilt? Because I know you've written 2 books. You have your own pajama company. You've had that for 7 years, you said. So when did you start that? You started that when Bobby was 3, if my maths is correct?
Yeah, yep. So I started that. Oh, hang on. Let me just
stop. I failed maths in the HSC, so I might be wrong.
I feel like Floss. Yeah, 7. Yeah, when Floss was born.
Fuck, I'm good.
Yep.
Cool.
Sorry, look at that mum brain fatigue. So 7 years now, and it's amazing. It's doing really well.
Amazing. You're such a boss mum.
I have a wonderful business partner. She is a boss mum. She's taught me a lot about business. But together we've been able to create something really special. And they say that business partnerships on average only last 4 years. We're at 7 now, which is really exciting.
Above average, baby.
Yeah. And we're only growing, and like that takes up a lot of my time. Yeah. But I'm so proud that, you know, my kids get to be involved in that as well.
Do you ever get mum guilt? Because I was talking about this on my TikTok yesterday, how leaving my kids to come to Melbourne, I've never really left them for, I guess, longer than a night or 2, maybe, if I'm lucky. But coming here, I just felt so guilty. You know, I'm not going to be at daycare drop-off, and I'm not picking them up, and I'm organising with the grandparents and doing lunch boxes and doing this and making sure everything runs smoothly. But then I'm like, I'm so sorry I'm not there to tuck you in at night. Like, I feel so awful. But I'm like, why do I feel so awful when I'm doing something that I know is going to better our family?
Yeah, we're just wired like that.
We're wired.
We're
just
wired
these wired creatures
that way, and that's what makes us good mums as
Yeah.
well. So a lot of people, I get not a lot actually, just every now and then I'll get a comment like if I post something that I was out on the weekend, like, where were your kids? I'm like, with their dad.
Yeah, where do you think?
Like,
I was at home chilling. They were just
if you want time away from your kids, separate their dad every second weekend off. No, I am getting cancelled for that. But really, the separated parents will know. I get every second weekend off.
Yeah, right.
Do I go, fuck yeah, I'm going partying all weekend? No, I actually hate that I'm not with them, because
so you have to distract yourself.
I have to distract myself. I actually can't, like, maybe I need to work on that with my therapist. So, you know, I do enjoy my downtime, and it's something I'm really trying to be okay with at the moment. Being a single mum
must be hard.
Sitting in my silence and enjoying my own company.
Yeah.
But at the same time, anytime I'm anywhere, well, where are the kids? Oh, I actually just left them in the car. Like they've got a bowl of water. But
like they're just chilling. Like, where do you think they are? We're not like, just because you have a perception of us, we're not bad mums. This is your own head noise. Like,
and I just went on a girls' trip to Adelaide this weekend, hence the scratchy throat. And someone goes like, why are you hanging around with all these like younger girls? I'm like, because I'm living my 20s now. I was changing nappies. I sacrificed all my 20s, which I do not regret at all. I loved being a young mum so much. I would not change anything for the world.
Yeah.
I was never going out in my 20s. I was never traveling. Yeah. I was a stay-at-home mum and I was so committed to that. So God forbid at fucking 33, I'm going to a winery in Adelaide.
You're not allowed to have a life.
I am not. No, but I'll tell you why, because the people that are saying that are in the trenches right now.
Yeah,
we're in different places.
Yeah.
We're in completely different spaces.
No, for sure. And how is it co-parenting with your partner?
Look, it has its challenges because, you know, we're in different locations. We're always having to ask permission from each other.
Are you on good note?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you have a good relationship.
Yeah, so let me start by saying great relationship. Like I could text him right now.
If you were like
would be horrific.
Cats and dogs.
So that's what I mean when I say it's challenging, but I can't complain because like we've got a family group chat. I could text him right now and he'd reply. His dad and his sister and brother were texting me about going on a holiday this morning on the way here. Super close.
You're very lucky.
But obviously, it's funny. Someone said to me, I think I did a question and answer box and someone's like, oh, how is your relationship with your ex? And in my head, I was like, oh, look, we disagree on some things and you know, it's challenging. But then I was like, wait, hang on, we were like that when we were married too. Like, it's actually no different.
Yeah.
We just have a real common goal. We have such wonderful family around us who help us. You know, that's where that village comes in.
Yeah.
His family, my family are so tight-knit, so great. But at the same time, as people, we completely respect each other's personal lives now. So I would not know what's going on in his personal life. He doesn't, like we will share what we want to share with each other. But other than that, we're a team to raise our kids.
That's amazing. And I think that's so important to give your kids that, you know, that co-parenting. I feel like that is like the epitome what everybody wants to have as a co-parent is to like have that relationship.
I know. So I cannot, you know, I'm sure like if he ever listened to this, he'd be like, you're a fucking ball breaker. And I'm like, so are you. But that's probably why we're not married anymore.
Totally.
No,
but absolutely. But is it hard to find time? So when you have the kids, like you mentioned, like obviously you're so present, but how do you find time for yourself? Like do you go to the gym? Do you go for walks? Do you do that? Are they there at primary school?
Yeah, they're at primary school. So I've actually had to, I'm onto my second live-in au pair nanny at the moment. And it's, you know, I'm sure people would be like, oh, she just got someone home. Like I have to because
you're running
my
businesses.
work is so different. One day I've got to start work at 8 o'clock on the other side of the city. Yeah. And then one day I'm not home till 9 o'clock at night.
And that would be impossible if you're a single mum. How do you
Completely.
do that?
I've got no schedule with my life. So I'm very lucky in the sense that at the moment I've got a beautiful girl called Alex who lives with me. And on days when I'm working, I just know the kids can be picked up on time. But then that mum guilt comes in because it's like, I want to be there to pick them up.
And it's never just, you can never just.
It's never seamless.
It's never seamless. And I was saying before, I was like, I wonder if men or if dads feel this guilt. Because I honestly think we are wired to feel guilty.
We are so wired.
So we don't
That's our maternal instincts.
Like caveman, I feel like it's so we don't stray far from our kids because you get guilt. Yeah. It's just, it's so hard that you're working, you're contributing and everything. And then you just, again, get this guilt. And like you have 3 businesses.
Yeah, well,
you have 2 businesses. You've written 2 books. Yeah, you have a pajama business, and you're a full-time mum. You have 10 businesses. Like, honestly, it's so. How do you know? Like, do you want to bring out anything else? How do you know when you need to step back? Do you ever get burnt out?
Yeah, if anything, I've really stepped back the last 12 months, I think already, because my kids are older now. And yes, they're easier in some capacity, but in others, like I want to emotionally and mentally be there a lot for my kids. It's not so much the physical stuff. I don't need to be picking them up and feeding them and doing this, but I really want to be present as their friend as well. And that includes, like, I want to be at their football games. I want to, you know, I coach my daughter's netball team.
That's so fun.
I want to be volunteering to be a helper in the classroom. So I really want to be around for these moments that I know they'll remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
The business stuff keeps running, but as you would know, like the social media influencers side of things have really sort of pulled back a little bit lately.
Yeah.
I'm just in a different phase with my kids.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be that school canteen mum.
Yeah, I really do.
I love that vibe.
I really do. I want to be volunteering at the swimming carnival.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's so much fun. And your kids will remember that.
Well, they will. And I think I actually suffer a lot of guilt in the sense I went back straight to work after I had my second baby.
Yeah.
My husband at the time stayed home.
Yeah, okay.
And so I still struggle with a bit of this like, I can't really remember, those first few months or whatever. But now that they are so present and they really are sponges and they're taking in everything, I just want to be there in every part I possibly can be, which realistically isn't everything.
Yeah.
But what I can be, I want to be there for them.
And they probably don't realize now, but they will when they're a little bit older, like everything that you did to give them that fruitful life and all the time you spent working and being a young single mum.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, I've got to work because I am a single parent. I bought a home on my own. I renovated a home on my own. I pay that mortgage on my own now. I am always taking my children on holidays. Like I'm doing my best to give them a great life.
Yeah.
And they won't appreciate that now or understand that now, but I hopefully one day they will. Like I work so hard to keep this roof over their head and to keep creating these memories for them. And times are tough at the moment, right? Times are really tough. I don't have someone to fall back on. I don't have someone to go, if you pick up another few hours.
That's a lot of stress and pressure on you.
It is. So when people come at me online for my parenting, I'm like, you have no idea what I do for these kids. Oh, God, now I'm going to get emotional.
Oh, don't get emotional. I'm sorry. This is my thing. I've made two people cry.
No, but it's like, it's happy tears. It's like, I'm so proud.
Yeah, you should be so proud. You're doing so much. And I think that is really hard because if people saw behind the scenes of a lot of, I guess, mums that they follow, I don't think they would be putting their 2 cents in. Yeah. They would be like, oh, wow, I should really keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Well, when you get to, chuck your bills to your husband or your partner or you get to split that mortgage.
You're there. You're being a boss. But you should be so proud.
I'm literally doing my best. And, and that's where, like we've talked about, that positive community of people that we have, the people that reach out to us and say, thank you so much. Like you are helping me in so many ways. That's why we do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So would you have any advice if there was a single mum out there who has a baby or a couple of kids, they're recently single, what would your number one advice be for them who, feel like nothing's ever going to get better and, they're in a horrible mindset and they just need to see light at the end of the tunnel? What would you say to those mums?
Well, firstly, that you don't need a partner to fill that void, that the love your child will give you will outweigh any love that any person that comes into your life will ever give you. I know, I've been treated horribly by my partners. I really need to get better at choosing better ones. But when I could be having the worst day in the world, I could have so much anxiety. I could be really struggling with something. But when I get in again, like I said, I put the phone down. I get in bed with my kids because my kids sleep with me every night.
Oh, I love that.
Jump in bed and cuddle. Everything instantly disappears.
Yeah.
So firstly, the love that your children will give you will always outweigh everything. But again, it's to really find your stayers. Yeah. Find those people you don't need, it's this thing again, we're talking about the school friends and you don't need this big group of people. You literally need 1 or 2 people that are your stayers, that will understand when you need help, that will understand when you need a break, that will understand you without you even speaking and lean on those people. Okay.
100%. You just need a couple of friends. I think that is so important. Just 2 or 3 friends. I feel like there was a trend growing up where the more friends you had, the cooler you were, even though you didn't speak to 8 of them.
But it's Instagram. I still see it now. I'm sure you see it in this industry. It's all clicky. It's this. I'm like, you don't even like each other. I've never been like that. I don't need to have photos with these people or that people or this people.
You just need your 3 besties.
So content on my own.
If you're midnight, in the middle of the night, you're exhausted, you've had a fight with your partner, you're crying, I need to come to your house and eat a block of chocolate and I'm coming right now. Where are you? Open your house now. That's all you need. And I think the older you get or the bigger, you know, when you become a parent and you have kids, you kind of realize that. That's all you need.
Yep. But also just be okay to lean on them. I think as single parents too, here's me giving advice. I do this myself. Like I feel like I do have to do it all on my own. I've got to prove to everyone that I am capable, but it is okay to lean on those people because it's really hard. It is really, really hard sometimes.
Well, you are doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
We have a few questions from our callers. They have clicked on a link and they've called in to ask us some
phone.
questions. Hello, 1-800 Sleep Deprived.
Yeah.
Where are my questions at?
Hey Indy, just wanting to know, how do you deal with people critiquing your parenting style online?
That's a good one. I don't know how I deal with it. I think I have just built a thick skin. You have to be resilient if you're putting your life out online. There's going to be opinions everywhere. But my number one tip would be take it with a grain of salt. I mean, you know, there's going to be your grandma telling you something, your mum telling you something different, and your sister, your best friend, like everyone is going to say something different. And I think you need to take every opinion and piece of advice with a grain of salt. Would you agree? Like sometimes these people aren't wrong online. Like maybe you are right. Maybe my child shouldn't have a rash that looks like that, and maybe I should go to the doctor. So thank you so much. Yeah. And maybe my child, you know, there's so many different things, and I'm like, thank you. And sometimes I respond, I'm like, thank you so much for sending me that you're so right. I will take that on board. But other times I'm like, babe, you're literally 13 years old. What would you know? You don't come at me with that. You have no idea. But I think it's very hard when you put your life out online. You have to build a really thick skin. Otherwise, you're going to be down in the dumps every week.
Well, like I said, we wouldn't do this if we didn't have that thick skin. But for me, when it comes to parenting, like I'm so content and comfortable in the way I parent. I'm so proud of it. And, you know, like I said, I know you embrace the chaos. Like that's your parenting style and it's amazing. I'm the exact same. So we're that comfortable with it that an opinion from a random isn't going to
and I think you just have to be confident in yourself. Yeah. You're confident. I know what I'm doing. This is how my kids are happy. They're healthy. They're fed. I'm killing it.
Yeah.
I'm killing it.
Hey Indy, big fan. Just wanted to ask how you juggle social media and content creation with motherhood and all those challenges that it brings.
Ooh, well, I'm quite lucky as I've kind of built my content around motherhood and showing reality and the rawness, which I'm super lucky because it makes my life a little bit easier. I don't have to put on a face of makeup. Yeah. I can just wake up, roll out of bed and start filming. And this is what I want to show you because I basically created this community to show other mums this is real life, to make you feel like you're not alone. And this is it. It's gross. It's chaotic. It's dirty. I'm leaking milk 24/7. I'm squirting milk.
But it's amazing too.
But it is amazing. Like we are so lucky. We have these little humans that we are their world. Yep. They look up to us. They everything we do is for them. Like every decision that we make is for our child. Yep. Like everything we think, it's like, I actually can't go do the grocery shop now because my child's asleep. Like everything that it's just. And I think for me, I've been able to juggle it well because I have a good work-life balance. I can kind of, which you do too, you know, you can do your work, you can organize a sitter, you can get your work done, but then you can be that mum who's present at nighttime and put them to bed. And I think that's really important to have that balance between mum life, work life, turn off your phone, put it down, and it's like, let's wrestle.
Mine's completely shifted lately because my kids were very involved in a lot of my content creation, my whole page. It was called The Young Mummy. It was based off my kids. Yeah. And then you'll find as your kids get older, they don't really want to be on social media. They're not really interested in doing it anymore. And you have to respect that as well. So my son is hardly ever on Instagram at all anymore. And then you get, you know, these brands come in and go, hey, we want Bobby and Floss to do this. And I go back and say, no, they can't. They don't want to. Yeah. So a lot of the time lately people are saying to me, where are your kids? I'm like, they're here. Yeah. I'm still parenting them. They are alive. They just don't want to be here as much anymore. So, a bit of a different space for me.
Yeah, wow.
Hey, Indy. Love you and your content. Just a quick question. If you do, and how do you make time for self-care amongst your busy lifestyle?
What is self-care?
I was just thinking about that question. I was like, sorry, what? Self-care? Sorry. Self-care is going to bed at 8:30, not 9. I actually am still, to be honest, I'm still trying to find that balance for self-care. Only recently have I just started working out. I'm on an 8-week challenge. This is week 3. Have I worked out today? No, I have not. So I'm still trying to definitely find that balance. Most days I don't wash my face. Then some days I'm amazing. I put on vitamin C. I put on moisturizer, eye cream. Like, I'm like, oh my God.
And then you won't do it for 4 more weeks.
Then I won't do it for another 4 weeks. Yeah. But when I do it, it makes me feel so good. It makes me feel like I have my life together.
Yeah.
But I definitely haven't found that balance yet. Like I will.
Babe, I'm nearly 10 years in.
Oh my God,
we're never going to find it.
And I think it's because we don't put ourselves first anymore. Once you have kids, it's like, babe, you come last. Like your dog, your cat, your parrot, your guinea pig, they come before you.
Yeah.
You're not first.
That's
and
true.
I think the sooner you accept that, the easier life gets. Because
yeah, that's a good one, actually.
Do you reckon?
I was going to say, I'm nearly a decade in. There's no balance, but the sooner you accept that that's just your reality.
And this is just a phase. Like I know when they're 30, 40 and married, I will have time for self-care, and you bet I will be injecting myself everywhere. I will glow up then. But right now, it's like I want to raise a good kid, a healthy kid, a respectful kid. That's my number one priority. I'm happy to look aged right now.
You look great. You're just a baby.
Oh God,
you look amazing.
Thank you. But yeah, I definitely think for self-care, there's no time. You just got to accept that it's not about you right now.
I like that.
Anyway, are they all the questions done? All done, okay. Well, thank you for joining us, Soph. It was so lovely to chat to you and
nearly
hear
cried.
about. I know, I'm so sorry. That's my thing. I make people cry on this podcast. But it was so amazing to hear about everything motherhood, business.
Thank you.
Being a single parent, but you're killing it. You're a boss mum.
Appreciate it.
And I'm so honoured to have you on my podcast.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful day. Bye.